Well, I'm Coral. Aloha. I've been diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, general anxiety disorder, depression. Did I say PTSD?
Mm-hmm.
Help.
Hey, it's Brian Quain of Reason to Believe. I was recently diagnosed as neurodivergent, and I've been on a journey to understand what this means for me. In the process, I realized there's an opportunity to connect with others who share the same desire to learn more about being on the spectrum. So sit back and enjoy stories from my friends, my guests, myself, and the incredible journeys shared on these episodes. You'll hear about obstacles faced, victories achieved, struggles overcome, but most importantly, our passion for belonging and connection. We are wired differently, but thriving always. Reason to Believe is the reason we are proudly autistic. Now, welcome to the show. I don't do breakfast. Isn't that weird?
I used to not.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I just realized I still have a mint in my mouth. I'm like, hit record. Stupidest thing you can do.
There's a mint.
It's episode 1. Boom. How do you fuck this up? Here I am.
Hey, at least you're minty fresh.
Yeah. In this room, like it's just gonna be like you could either smell my breath or smell the mint. Awesome. I want to start this off. And in every episode, it's now going to be a thing where this is how it originated. But I want you to take 5 breaths, 5 deep breaths. And what this is going to be is each, you breathe in, which will sound weird on the podcast. I'm sorry, you might get the wheeze. So breathe in, and on every breath out, I want you to basically say something that you are appreciative of today. Something that happened maybe, I know it's like early afternoon, but still maybe something that you just went, or even like yesterday. But on the breathe out, just say the breath out, just be like, oh, this. And then we'll do 5 of those. If you can, you can only do 3 or 4. That's fine too.
Heard.
And let's start with that.
Okay.
When you're ready.
Let's go.
Hit it.
I'm really appreciative that I woke up this morning.
Amen.
Who's excited? I
am, because then I would have to do a whole other episode. I'd be like, now I gotta rebook somebody.
She's
that
not
sucks.
here.
Well, that sucks.
Rip.
Oh boy. Who's
Okay.
next?
I am appreciative of the support system that I have within my family and my really good friends. They're awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I am grateful that I got it felt like a little nudge from my mom earlier today. I don't know, it just felt like a warm hug. Something just made me think about her and something that she used to tell me all the time. And yeah, I just was really grateful to just have that energy of her with me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many was that? 3?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I am really grateful for the opportunity to experience life in the way that I am right now.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, we are gonna open that. We are gonna open that. So yeah.
I'm ready.
Because if you want to do one more, you can. Or if we want to just jump the hell into it now, you let me know.
Yeah, we can jump in. Whatever.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Because the one thing that I heard instantly with that was basically the support system from your family, and then you jumped into your mom.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because that's a whole body, and if you jumped into her, that's like, honey, I blew up the kids, or did they blow up the kids? They shrunk the kids.
They did, but they also enlarged them,
they
I
did
think,
blow
eventually,
them up. Yeah,
right?
the sequel.
Didn't they?
Yeah, never mind.
Oh, no.
So closeness with your mother. Yeah. Has that always been something? Have you always had that with her? Or is that something? Yeah. I love that.
I always had. Well, it was interesting because we kind of had an interesting relationship when I was younger. I was the goody two-shoes that nobody had to worry about, but I had one hell of an attitude. So we definitely butt heads, especially in my teenhood. I was not the best teen. I was a little rowdy, a little sassy, a little dramatic. Pretty much always all of that stayed with me. But no, from, I would say 16 on, her and I became very, very close. And she passed in October, so the fact that I can still feel that presence of her, I think, is really important to me, because I was always scared of losing her. as a kid. Like, I used to have nightmares all the time about my parents passing, and I would wake up and I would be in a cold sweat and I'd scream and they'd come running like, oh my God, what's happening?
Very vivid or lucid? Was it like something you could smell, touch, taste? Like all yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My dreams always have been like that.
No, really?
Yeah, my whole life.
Yeah, never.
To the point where, and I've talked about this in therapy too. I tell him all the time, I think my brain is trying to trick me of something because these dreams that I have are so realistic. I think, oh, I already had this conversation with this person. This has already happened in my life.
Okay.
But it's just my brain telling me that something had already. And it got a lot more intense the older I got as well. But yeah, it's been sleep has been weird for me.
So what's your first memory of your mother then that you could remember?
Oh, God. My first memory is so funny. My earliest memory, it's silly. I hated it. But it's funny to me as an adult. I got the chicken pox when I was like 3.
Okay.
I was in Ohio. They moved us there. That's my earliest memory. I was like 3 years old.
Okay.
I remember looking down at my arms and there was all these spots and I couldn't stop itching them. And I ran to my mom. I was like, Mom! I ran into the bathroom and she's just on the toilet. She's just peeing. And I'm like, Mom, I'm itchy. And she goes, Coral, I'm busy. She looks at my arm. She goes, oh, okay, honey, hold on. And that's all I remember. I just remember like, oh my God, I'm itchy. But I remember her on the toilet, and I hate that.
Well, no. My first memory of my father, I'm very sure this is my first memory of my father. I probably was the same age, 3. My dad died when I was 7. So I don't have anything of his. Like, honestly, if anything, it's almost like, you know, you go to a hotel, you open up the little bar that you have in your room. That's probably like that small little vial of vodka or bourbon or whiskey. That is my memories of my father.
Oh.
Well, now, memories of my mother, shit. That is probably like going to a different country and going to the duty store and getting like that 2-liter bottle of vodka, or like something like it's like that massive bottle of shampoo that you would get at a Costco or something, when the other one is like a travel size, like my dad would be the travel size. My early memory with my father was he was peeing and I had to pee. So I ran in and he just put me next to him and that was it. We stood and peed and flushed the toilet. But I remember the bathroom. I totally remember the bathroom. I remember how it was all set up and everything. And it's crazy that I like those are the things that I remember. Is it the bathroom? That's weird. Yeah. Why is that a memory that we remember?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I know that the chicken pox, they were traumatic for me because I just needed to itch them. Oh God.
I'm starting to itch. I am too.
I am
I'm
too.
like, oh God, I don't like that feeling. Yeah, but I don't remember any of that shit. Like if have I had the chicken pox or like, it's so crazy. Now, of course, my mother and I have been friends all the way up until about 2 years ago, but very close to my mother. There was a point where we talked every day.
Oh, she did too.
Yeah, she lived in Vegas for a good 20-something years before, like, whatever the hell happened. But, yeah. But that's crazy. I love that you have that memory of just, like, because it's that, look, when we pee, it's very intimate.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching me when I pee. Oh, hell no. It's like, I'll walk by Casey. She's just like, she's on the bathroom. She's like, hey, can you get me da-da-da-da? The dog's walking in. I'm like, oh, no. I pee. It's like, close the door, put the shutter down. It's like I have a bodega in Brooklyn. I'm like, okay, we're going to put that, lock it. Nobody else can see me. Make sure the windows are closed. Like, I'm just so, like, in my own zone when it comes to peeing. And a very close relationship with your mom until her passing, huh? Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah. What was nice, so she had an early onset dementia. She was diagnosed with that late 2020, but it was just very aggressive form. Even the doctors said they couldn't believe how quickly she was progressing, and how severe. It was just, I felt like in 6 months she didn't know what anything was, like a microwave, a phone.
Yeah.
I mean, she was wandering down the street. We had to put locks on the door, and we had to get cameras in the house because we needed to watch where she was, and it was a lot really fast. And one thing I'm very grateful for is all the way to the end, she knew who I was. She lost her ability to speak I feel like it was the last maybe 6 months of her life, maybe 10. If she did speak, it was kind of mumbling, and it was never words that made sense. A lot of her descriptive words were gone by then. But she would always light up. She
Her
smiled.
eyes told the story, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
she
that's
smiled
it. Yeah.
so big.
Yeah.
And for a while, like, before she lost her ability, before the very end, to speak, a lot of times I would wake up or walk into the room, and she'd go, "Oh, my baby," and just smile so big and reach for me. And it was just, our relationship was very special. I called my mom for everything. Mom, how do I do this? Mom, guess what I did today? Oh my God, I know I just called you 5 minutes ago. I just thought of something else I have to tell you. Like, she shaped so much of who I am today and how I function in this world. And I realized when she passed, I said, oh man, I don't have that person who understood my brain. Like, she would see when the wheels were turning and when the smoke was coming out of my ears, and she just knew when I would, now I call it, I'm short circuiting. And we talked about that last week.
Yep.
I would now say, oh, I'm short circuiting. I need to rewire here, and I need to take a step back and breathe. But she could recognize that in me when I was younger. And she was the one who helped me reel in and kind of come to, you know? And so these last few years of not having my mom to talk to, not having my mom to guide me, has been crazy. What a test. Hey.
It's a huge,
Do you remember everything she taught you? Like, I wish I would have clung on to more.
I get it.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like I did a lot, but, you know.
And now with all that, do you need that still, though? Is there something that of course you wish you had that, but it's her. Is there somebody else that you feel, not to fill that void, but who else can you talk to? Who else can you cling to? Who else is that somebody? Because I feel that's something, once you put that on that one certain person, you don't want to have that with somebody else, though. You don't. Even though it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's like so comforting. So comforting. But at the same time, because here's where I think you and I really, really, come into play, is that book Attached, right? You know? And I think it's first chapter. You're either in Group A, Group B, or Group C. Yep. In Group A being the more insecure, afraid of, is this person going to see me in this way that's not the most positive, or are they checking somebody out because I'm not good enough? A lot of that, I'm not good enough. And that's where I am always. Like, I think if I were to lose that one person I'd cling on to, I'd be so scared shitless. I'd be like, oh God, I lost them. I totally lost them.
Well, it's a matter of trying to regain my bearings. I feel like I was knocked off course, and now I'm trying to figure out how to walk straight again. You know?
Right.
My mom helped guide me through so much in my life. And I mean, without her helping me through some of the times where I would feel this great sense of overwhelm, where I couldn't tell people, I couldn't communicate, hey, this is what's going on. I just felt all these big emotions. Yeah. And somehow she always knew exactly what to say. Like, I think that takes a very special person, and it also takes a lot of patience as well. And it's my mom. You know, she's kind of supposed to be that person for you, but not everybody has that with their parents. So I think those of us who do grow up with all these different, whatever you are in the spectrum, I think it's really hard sometimes because not everyone gets to have a person.
No, exactly.
Not everybody knows.
Very rare when on the spectrum. Or look, there's a show, Love on the Spectrum. We have to purposely put people in that situation, which I still think, by God, it is such a great idea, where I think Ian does a great job, the producers do a great job, and these subjects that keep coming back in season 3, probably, we'll have released this episode. Season 3 is April 2nd, and I just love it. I love it, and it's hard because it's hard to find somebody. Yeah. Because here's the thing. Parents, I hope you're listening, and I hope there's a huge 80% listening base of parents who are having a hard time or struggling, because guess what? I'm going to walk you through it the best way I can. And that's with stories like this, right? It is impossible sometimes to find somebody, and parents are so focused on them because this isn't what I signed up for.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, nobody does. When you have a kid, you don't know. You don't know. You really don't know. And they're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. Their patients go through like the floor. They're just like, I'm done. I'm done. How do I do this? They're locking themselves in the room. They're focusing too much on the iPad. They're doing too much of this. So this is a game I'm going to start on every episode, and it's called True or False. You cannot use the word true, and you cannot use the word false. You can't say yes, and you can't say no. So when I say true or false, these are things with ADHD that are very common. So when I ask you, is this something that you might, I need you to answer with a story.
Okay.
And it could be, if it's a false, then you answer with a story of like how you've noticed that maybe with other people, or like you maybe caught yourself and maybe I didn't do that before, or you just answer with a story. So we talked about patience.
Big one.
Big one, right? Do you find it, true or false, is it hard for you to let someone to finish their story before you want to chime in and talk?
The amount of times that I have to be told, Coral, I am not done with my sentence. That has been my entire life. It is, oh my gosh, the amount of times that I have bit my tongue, I need you to know I shouldn't have a tongue anymore. Like it should have gone off a long time ago. It is so hard.
So what is like the most embarrassing one that you can remember where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I put my foot in my mouth, or like I answered something and that was like totally not even what they were getting at, or like that was not even the conversation we were having, because hey, I mean, honestly, every day, well, I don't even talk to anybody. Maybe Rigby's like, hey, I was talking, buddy. Like you answered for me. But yeah. Like, is there like a time that you remember?
Man, I don't even.
It's second nature.
I mean, every day. When?
Every day. Yeah,
when?
Yeah.
When would you let every day that I talk to somebody, I go, nah, shut up. I mean, being a server is
there you go. Okay.
Crazy.
Okay. Because I was going to get into that where think of this too, is that, we like to keep ourselves sometimes in our box, in our bubble, but then you are forced to engage, emphasize most of the time too, because honestly, as crazy as where you work, it might get a little warm in there. So now you have to align with that person going, oh my God, it's a little warm, this is this. Or it's like sometimes for Casey and I, vegetarian options are we eat the same fucking thing every week. So,
you really do.
So by the time, like Dan, right, his name's Dan, like he knows it's like, oh, so-and-so, da-da-da-da-da, we're ordering. They're like, oh God, okay, Casey and Brian are here. But you have to engage with more than 100 people a week.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes a day.
Sometimes a day. Let's get real. Let's get real.
That's like a day for me. It's crazy how many people I talk to.
How exhausted are you by the end of the day?
Oh, incredibly.
Yeah.
So my sister, one of my older sisters, she's been in the hospitality industry for a while. She was a bartender for easy, like 10, 15, 20 years, something like that. I always said I never want to be in the hospitality industry. Everybody in my family, so many people have done it. I don't want to do it. I want to be the different one. I never went to college. I started my business when I was really young. I was a photographer. That was what my identity was. I am a professional photographer. And to me, my, younger self said, nah, that's a step backward. Well, life hit me in the head 10 million times and said, yo, here's real life. Real life means crap happens, and that sucks, but you got to figure out a way to get out. I had bills upon bills from random hospital stays, and I was like, okay, now I kind of got to make more money. And so I put my foot in the door. I ended up in the hospitality industry, even though I didn't want it. And fun facts, I love it. But something that she used to tell me all the time was, and I never understood until I worked in hospitality, was that she couldn't stand loud, like people being loud, people being drunk, people like over, when she goes to a restaurant, she doesn't like how loud the music is. And I'm like, girl, you're only 10 years older than me. What the heck? Like, what are you, an 80-year-old? Like, calm down. When I get off work, I am quiet. I mean, I'm a very talkative, lively, energetic person.
Yeah, last Monday was seriously where Casey and I were like, okay, let's do like an hour. Like even if we were to meet up tonight,
Yeah.
Casey would have been like, Coral, I love you, girl. You only get a half hour because that's it. Like, honestly, it's loud.
Yeah.
What she's doing today, what Casey's job is today, where you're like, let's go to class. And we were like, first of all, we're going Wednesday, which is weird.
Oh, how funny.
My friends are going to see Kraftwerk right across the street at Dr. Phillips.
Oh, yay.
And so the first time I went to try the vegan menu was when I went with them to go see Bob Mould. He played The Social. That was, I think, in September. So I was like, I didn't know they had a vegan menu. This is awesome. This is perfect. Yeah. And so now we go. Like I said, we were going. And so they're coming into town. So next Monday, we're celebrating. Next Monday, we are celebrating.
Yeah,
we're celebrating this
Woohoo.
or whatever it is. And then also, it's also, as you talked about, it's loud and like drinks. St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah.
How did we both forget?
I don't know.
This is me wearing green.
Yeah.
This box is my green.
I don't even own green. My eyes are hazel, but with a base of green. So let's go. Woohoo!
My inner animal is Kermit the Frog. So you go. That's my green.
I always say that mine is Kermit the Frog. You know, from the memes where he has the hood on. Evil Kermit. That's
the
me.
Sith Kermit.
Yeah, that's me. That's like my
awesome.
inner monologue is the Sith Kermit. That's
awesome.
my intrusive thoughts that sometimes I allow.
That's
and I'm like,
really
okay,
great.
heard. Thank you, Sith Kermit.
That's the best thing I ever heard.
Yeah. But anyways, I never understood that until I worked in the industry and I realized, oh yeah, no, this is a lot. And as a high energy person who then has to talk and stay high energy despite what the world is handing to me, it is draining. And it's saying that is an understatement. And those who are listening, who are realizing, are in that industry and they can connect that like, yeah, wow. It's so overwhelming sometimes. So
I don't know how a lot of people do it because here's the thing. I never realized why I was so tired. I was always on tour with bands or I had my record store. Overwhelming. I never thought about it. Let's go back. I did not know I had any of this until about 8 months ago, 7 months ago. And then I have the 8 pages to go, here, you want to see what I have? This is the ASD, and this is, it's like ADHD, and it's vague. And then I did I did the film industry for so long, and being in programming for film festivals, and then working with other filmmakers, and and that's overwhelming. And then being a trainer, being a teacher, and working with kids, and being in a busy store where you're teaching technology all day.
Exhausting.
That was massive.
Yeah.
Massive. And now I feel like, wow, knowing everything I know, now I'm still in the hangover of it still. After a year and a half of not doing it anymore, I'm like, oh my God, I'm still in this hangover.
What a perfect word to use for that, though.
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
It is.
There are some days I wake up and that's what I feel like I have is a hangover. My body is tired. It feels like a bruise. My head kind of feels weird and woozy and my eyes are really heavy and I'm just groggy and gross. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so dead. That's a perfect word to describe that.
And I feel it. Like I still to this day, there's times where I'm like, yep, not waking up the way I want to. And it's like, because you want your coffee. My routine, right? Routines. Ooh. So important.
So important. The second I don't have one, everything gets so bad.
Today really screwed me up.
Oh, really?
Because I had to leave the house.
Yeah.
And it was leaving the house when I don't have the car. Casey has it. I'm leaving the house now at like 1 o'clock, 1:15. And I'm like, and honestly, 1 o'clock came and I was like, I felt I was naked, like nothing was in the bag, everything was put away, everything was ready to go. All I had to do was get the Lyft or the Uber. All I had to do was do that. And then I was like, no, you don't have anything. It's all packed. You're ready to go, dude. You're dressed. You're like looking outside going, this is perfect weather to even stand outside with everything. Nope. I still lost my freaking mind because I was like, and I can't believe I never knew what this was. I never knew what this was.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Mom, what did Mom do when she had you? Let's say from when you're a baby to 10 years old. What was Mom doing? What was her job?
Oh, man. My mother, what a wonderful, incredible human being. That woman was, what did she not do? She did everything.
Okay.
When I tell you,
oy vey.
Oy vey. She had so many certifications.
Really?
And diplomas. She went back to school and back to school and back to school. And I'm like, bro, you're exhausting me. And I'm over here petrified of going to school.
Yeah.
I have a learning disability, for one. And for two, I also I was terrible at testing. Smart as attack. Smart as attack.
No,
sharp
that's
as
true.
attack.
Smart and sharp as attack.
Who knows?
Because here's the thing. You were probably brilliant in the things that you want to do, the most passionate things, right?
Yep.
I walked into, it was graduation, 3 days before graduation day in high school, and I was right on the GPA. Like, Brian, you're going to fail. You are going to fail.
That's insane.
Me.
Yeah.
Fail. Like, you're not going to graduate. They honestly looked at me and went, you're going to do fine, man. Just get the hell out of here. Graduate. Go have your life. I'm with you 100%.
Right.
That's how I think a lot of us are. Anybody listening right now is like, me too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think it's, from my personal life experience, I think it's incredibly important to talk to the people who are sitting there in school, whether it's high school, middle school. It doesn't matter what grade level you are, college, whatever, if you go back to college later in life, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're striving to learn, that's great. But I think too many people put too much on grades and how you're going to do in life. And it's like, dude, I don't remember half of the crap that they tried to teach me. And I was homeschooled. My mother was my teacher. And there's so many things.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I feel like grading is like a carton of milk. Mm-hmm. You have your carton of milk from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. That's how it was, right? We didn't know where brains were going then. We didn't know. Hey, put this little kid on Ritalin. He'll be fine.
Right.
We didn't go deeper. He has dyslexia, Ritalin, screw him. Mm-hmm. My mom was brave enough to say, no, we're not putting Brian on any of that. Now, we need to look at grades as in, like, now we have soy. Now we have oat. Now we have almond milk. Like, there's so many different avenues we need to look at where grading is going to go based on where that brain is going.
Yeah.
Because the brain is so important.
Oh, it's the most powerful organ we have in our entire body. And it's the one
the heart
that is the
muscle,
most...
Yeah, and the brain is, yeah.
And it's the one that's the most, like, misdiagnosed. It's the one that isn't
Exactly.
exercised. It's the one that people ignore more often than not. But it's the one that... I mean, neuroscience is one of my favorite subjects right now because it is just fascinating
as hell. Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing too is, like, going back to my mom and what she did, like I said, that woman did everything. She was a midwife. She was a life coach. She was a personal trainer. She used to be a bodybuilder. She was a nutritionist. She did everything you can possibly do. She was a pastor. Like, that woman.
That I didn't actually know. That's
isn't
awesome.
that insane?
That is also. That is insane.
So pastor, Bible belt slapping, whatever, gone to all of a sudden out of nowhere turn, oh my God, hippie in my teenhood. So childhood was pastor mom, and then teenhood was like hippie mom. She did Reiki, Chinese energetics healing. She did so many different things. Aromatherapy, like.
Her spirit was through the roof.
Oh my God, it was.
I love that.
That woman taught our family, and it's something that I shared on her memorial, or at her memorial, is that she always said to us, knowledge is power. And as long as you have a choice, just know that you have the power to do whatever it is in life that you want to, because you always have a choice.
You said that Monday.
Yeah.
And I have been thinking about that. Like, honestly, like saying it now, and I hope everybody just hears that.
Yeah.
Like, if there's anything from Coral's mother that you need to take with you, it's that. And what you, I feel, took with it was younger, you wanted to be a model.
Oh, God, I wanted to be so many things.
Okay. So let's start. What was the first thing that you remember then? That you were like, when I'm in third grade or fourth grade, this is what I want to be. Oh. And then, like, do you remember the first thing that you were like, I'm going to strive for that?
Oh, yeah. Well, first, I wanted to do anything and everything that had to do with horses. Horsey was if I remember correctly, horsey was my first word, or near there.
Really?
Yeah, wild.
Okay.
They weren't proud of me, by the way. They said, why isn't it mom or dad?
Of course.
But, no, I was obsessed. I was in love with horses. I think the power behind them is just beautiful. Their energy is beautiful. Very intuitive animals as well. And I was just drawn to them. So I wanted to work with horses. And then I was like, maybe I can be a veterinarian. And then I was in love with dolphins. So I wanted to be a dolphin trainer. And then I realized how much schooling needed to be done. And at that time, when I was like daydreaming really big. That was the beauty of me as a young human. I have always been a dreamer. I am in the sky 24/7. I do need someone that's a little bit more on earth to kind of pull me down and say, okay, I love your dreams, but let's do these in a more realistic way, because I'm all the way up here and everything is possible. But that's not really realistic.
That's where I was 3 years ago. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, life hit hard, and then I stopped dreaming, which sucked. But yeah, the beauty of my younger self was young Coral was she was just the life of everything. She had all these big dreams. Everything was possible. The world had magic. Everything sparkled. Yeah. And when I started realizing how much schooling there, because my mom would tell me like, hey, you got to do this and you got to do science. And I hated those subjects. I was a creative mind. I am a creative mind. So language was beautiful to me. I loved writing especially poetry. But my reading comprehension was really bad when I was young. I was failing in that. I was failing in math. I was failing in a lot of different things, which we didn't realize at the time was due to my learning disability.
Yep. Maths, forget it.
Yeah. Dyscalculia, everybody. We got to talk about that. Nobody realizes that's a real thing, and it is.
And honestly, on the first episode, like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Because when you told me that, I was like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Nobody has.
What? Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is insane. And I think it's incredibly important to know, because so many people are like, oh, you mean dyslexia. And I'm like, no, I didn't stutter. It's not dyslexia.
Yeah, because honestly, at any point, I thought I'm like, okay, I get it. I have dyslexia.
It's similar.
But then when you mentioned it, I went, oh, wait, no shit. I think that's what I actually, like, let's start to the needles going towards that. And I went, oh, yeah, no, that's, like, honestly, if this was a book, I could read. I'm not reading it like the Torah from right to left. I'm doing great going from left to right. I'm like, oh, this is that. But I get it. Sometimes if I'm looking too much, the words get jumbled and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But it is more of the maths and things like that. So really quick, explain what it is. Like, let's find out what is it that you have and where that is different from dyslexia.
Yeah. So basically what I learned about it is my brain just happens to process numbers very differently. So it's not that I have the inability to do math. Eventually, through my own weird, backwards, long, drawn-about way, I figured out how to do a lot of the basic maths. I cannot do past basic math, however. And the majority of the time, I have to use either a calculator or my fingers, because the concepts of the different structures of each problem makes no sense to me. I have to call my dad all the time and be like, wait, I'm sorry, I forgot how to do division. What am I supposed to multiply again? Like, how do I get this? And he'll tell me, and then I go, oh, yeah. The easiest way I have found, if anyone's seen Finding Nemo, Dory, she has short-term memory loss. Well, when it comes to math, numbers, time management, a lot of that is in that blanket of dyscalculia. And I struggle with all of them. It makes me feel really, really anxious when it comes to if I've never been to a new place, for example. The things I have to do. I have to, the night before, map out where it is. Figure out how long it takes. I now need to figure out, okay, well, if it takes an hour and I need to be there 10 minutes early, well, that doesn't make sense to me. Yes. Because that's hard for me in my head to figure out, well, an hour and 10 minutes. To most people who don't have this, they can figure that out in 2 seconds. They think it and they're like, yeah, I leave at this time. I have to go the long, drawn-out, scenic route, if you will, to figure out what time do I need to leave, but now what time do I need to wake up? Like, for example, to this day, in order to get ready for work, if I work at 5 o'clock, I have to start getting ready at, and I even have to think about this. This is hilarious. I was just going to say, I just did that just now in my head. When you said an hour and 10 minutes, I went, all right, so 90 minutes is this, and you add the 10, that's 100 minutes, and then I go the long route. Yeah, and see, I can't even figure it out minute-wise. It goes away.
I have to bring minutes into it. Then I have to bring in, so if 100 minutes, wait, I don't know if I want to do that because what is before that? Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, especially because I like taking my time. I don't like rushing. I mean, somebody with a general anxiety disorder, none of us want to sit there and be rushed for anything. It freaks us out more. So I like to take my time. I want to make sure I get my routine in. I want to make sure I eat my food. I get my coffee. I have my me time where I sit and do my puzzles.
Good. Oh,
yeah.
That's a huge one.
I do.
Puzzles.
I love
huge.
them. Or read. Either way. Right now I'm addicted to this. It's like a screw. You click on a bunch of colored screws. You have boxes at the top and you got to move the screws in. But it's like you're trying to get rid of it's like a house. You got to move the roof and then the more screws are unveiled. Anyways, it's a fun thing, but
I want to play.
Yeah. No, it's so much fun.
That.
I'm addicted to it right now.
Okay.
It's just thought provoking, like problem solving. I mean, but anyways, but yeah, no. So like for work, if I have to go there at 5, I have to start getting ready at 3:20. And then because I need to leave a certain amount of time beforehand. So I start getting ready at 3:20. But I have an alarm 20 minutes before that to say, hey, you got to get ready in 20 minutes. So now my brain has to turn on like, ooh, what do I have to do before I start getting ready?
Timers.
I have 20 a day set.
On this thing right here, if you were to open up here we go, clock. Where is it? Alarms, timers, but like it's just it goes and goes and goes.
I have them labeled. Get ready, get out,
yeah,
hurry up. Girl, it's almost time. Girl, I said wake up. And I mean, it's something that I have to do. Again, it's the scenic route. It's the roundabout way. There's a lot of ways that I can get distracted because I can get zoned in on something and then completely lose the time. So I know how to work with my brain. Because I get distracted, I know, okay, I set alarms for myself so I don't, like I can get pulled out of that, I'm hyper-focused on this, but oh, crap, there's an alarm. What's the alarm for? And now I have that physical thing in front of me telling me, hey, you need to start getting ready. Or it's a 10-minute warning, you know?
There it is. It's that 10-minute warning because I had that today. Today, I'm out back with Rigby and Paisley. Actually, all three, Shankly, Paisley, and Rigby were outside. Oh. They're all doing their pees and poops because, like, I got to go, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And this is where my brain kicks in because it was like as soon as the timer goes off, that's it. You got 10 minutes to get the hell out of the house. 10 minutes. And it went off in the middle of one of them peeing. And I went, okay, guys, treat. We got to get our treats. Let's get our treats. And they're all, like, looking at me. They're turning around. That breeze is so beautiful on these dogs' fur, even though Rigby has no fur. But the corgis are like, are you kidding, Dad? This is wonderful. I'm like, this is not wonderful. This is not wonderful. I got to go. I got to go. My brain gets into, shit, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going into another true or false.
Oh, goody.
So here we go. Low frustration tolerance. All right. So true or false, do you have low frustration tolerance? Give us a story.
Oh, God.
Because that just happened not even 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, where I was like, guys. And that any other time I say treat, they haul their asses in.
Right. Today, no.
Yeah.
No. They're on their own time.
Exactly. They don't know that this is probably the most important day of the month for me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is it. Your dad's coming back.
Yeah.
He's getting behind a microphone.
There we go.
Okay. Low tolerance.
Oh, man. I don't know. On the drive here.
There you go.
Jesus, take the wheel. My dad, he used to make fun of me because when I learned to drive, my mom was petrified to be in the car. She's like I would call her, she was like one of the bangers. So like she sits in the passenger seat in a car, like 2 semi-trucks ahead of us would put their brakes on and she'll be like, oh my God, brake, they're braking, the lights are on. I'm like, Mom,
really?
You're freaking me out. Oh yeah. Oh, we almost crashed so many times because of that woman. So my dad ended up teaching me. And
how old were you?
I was
it 15, 16?
15 when I got my learner's permit. And it was funny because I will never forget. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening, I'm telling. But, you know, Mom knows everything anyways. So I believe she's still here. So now she knows everything.
I love that.
But I tell you,
you should.
We were in the car. He used to drive. We called it the boat. It was a old Lincoln. So a town car. Yeah,
That is a boat.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, the frickin' hood of it by itself is like my length, and I'm tall.
I was just gonna say it's like 5 feet.
Yeah,
it really
it's
is five
it's
to a
huge.
half feet. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's what we were driving in. we were running errands, and right across the street from Full Sail, there used to be a like this old dollar movie theater, and it was like an abandoned parking lot at the time.
God. Yeah.
So right off of University.
Yeah.
Right near Aloma.
Is that what became the Costco or whatever, or was it like
maybe? I don't.
Oy vey, yeah.
It could have. Or maybe that was
no,
a little bit
further down. It was
yeah,
a
I
little
think it was further down.
It was down further. Yes, yes, it was.
But we were driving, and I remember I was like, "Oh yeah, no, Mom's driving me crazy because she would only let me drive in neighborhoods. Cars were never around me. I didn't get to experience the turn signals and whatever because, well, we didn't need them because we were driving straight on a neighborhood road." And my dad goes, "Well, do you want to learn now?" And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Oh God. Oh, I don't think, no, there's just it's dark." Right. So my first driving experience that I can remember is a very vivid memory where my dad pulls us into this abandoned, parking lot. And he goes, "Okay, I just want you to practice parking." And I was like, this thing is huge. How am I going to do this? So we do that. And he's like, "No, Coral, you're doing great. Why don't you try going on the street?" And I was like, "Okay." I went like 10 miles per hour. People were honking, speeding around me. I was like, "We're gonna die." But then I got angry really quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God. And my anxiety is spiking. My heart is racing. I'm sweating profusely. And I was like, "Daddy, I can't do this." And someone speeds by and I'm like, "Are you?" Just every profanity you can think of. I was like freaking out on this person. And I started slamming the horn on. He goes, "Oh no." And I looked at him. I pulled over. I got out. And I was like, "I'm done. I can't do this. I can't drive. This is terrifying." And my dad goes, "Oh God, I think I'm passing on," without realizing it. Like, I don't know how this is happening, but I think I'm passing on, like, being aggressive while driving, or at least angry, like an angry driver. I am spicy when I drive. I yell at everybody for no reason. If they're in the lane of sin and they're going the speed limit or under, aka the fast lane, everybody, that's what I call it, the lane of sin. If you're not ready to sin, get out of my way. Thank you.
Exactly.
Like, I'm
great.
busy right now.
Yeah.
I'm in a hurry for no reason.
Oh, you're in
because
your
I
world.
always have to.
It's your world.
Right?
Everything else around it, like it.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, and something about my brain that I've noticed, and I don't know if you experience this too, but I have to do everything quickly. When I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, I often hear Gandalf in my head, "Show me the meaning of haste, Shadowfax." Every time I'm like, "Why aren't you showing me?"
Perfect.
Like, I speed walk, I talk fast, I need to get from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. I need to cut out all the tiny things that can get in the way. Like, you should see me through a theme park. Oh my God, I'm like a snake. It's like I'm walking, I'm a Matrix person. I've never seen it, but I know that they like bend weird, They're like,
I think, I've never seen it either. I do know what you mean, though.
Yeah, but that's how I
scene.
am. I dodge people easily.
You and I should do like how quickly we can, like, everything is the same task. It's like a triathlon of some sort.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I hate house chores. Don't ever ask me to do it.
Oh, really?
Even though that's all I do. Casey's at work. I will take care of the craziness animals. I will. I did not blow the candle out when I left the house.
Oh, God.
The brain is working. It's going to be an overdrive now.
Yep.
That's it. I'm going.
I do that with my door. Like.
Oh, I couldn't find the keys when I was leaving the house too, which I never do. I never do. They were in another hoodie. I was like, wait, why would they be in there?
Oh, yeah. If something's not in the space it's supposed to be, I freak out.
Yeah. And
I'm like,
it's always this, I think Casey has realized, like, don't move. Because I have said, don't move that. Don't move that. Don't move that.
Yep.
How long have I been saying this? Like, decades? I don't even know. But now, where she's just very much like anxiety driven, like, okay, I'm not going to move it anymore. Brian's going to be like, woo, there it goes. Like, alarms go off.
Right.
Yeah, I totally get it. Because it's I don't like to clean. I don't like to do any of that stuff. I have to put on music in order for me to do it.
Yep.
For me to enjoy it. And that gives me a timeline too to say, all right, within 3 songs it's over, boom, bye.
Oh, nice. See, what's weird, I don't love doing chores. Let me reframe that. When I'm feeling really anxious or just like, God, I need to do something, when you I don't know, my brain is in overdrive and I need it to shut up. I need to do something. And for some reason, when I'm really upset, if I am feeling all those big emotions that I never knew how to handle, and my mom would like pull me out, I've noticed I just go into this weird zone of cleaning. I hyper clean. It's insane. But when my brain is quiet and I'm in a more stable environment and my brain is a lot more stable and I'm not having those big, oh my God, emotions.
Yeah.
I live in chaos.
Yeah.
I'm very organized. It's organized chaos. I tell people all the time, you don't know where it is, but I know where everything is because I can remember.
That's huge.
It doesn't make sense.
That's a huge thing to have with ADHD is that disorganization is huge.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the other thing. It's either you're extremely disorganized because you are everywhere, or you're so hyper-focused that you're mega organized.
Yeah.
And where the hell did I fall off of? Because I'm in the middle somewhere where I'm like, I am very organized. You saw how I brought everything in. I was like, oh, look, I have my everything is here. But then at the same time, it's like, this will be in one room. That's in the other room.
Yeah.
That's going to be probably on the table because I'm doing video somewhere. My notebooks are going to be in the other room and so that disorganization is huge.
Yeah.
I am scattered around that house. And I'm not saying like Casey only has like a little da-da-da. No, it's a big house. She gets what she needs.
Right.
But still, at the end of the day, I am very much scattered in that house. It's insane.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite traits about you that you got from your mother? Let's start with that. What are like 2 or 3 things that you got from your mom that you're so proud that you have that's like a tattoo on you, if you will? Like that's like, it's embedded. I'm never going to lose that. That is mine. Never is that getting rid of.
Well, I love that you mentioned the tattoo because I got one for my mom on her birthday was February 11th, and I got her handwriting on me. And I'll show you. I have I love you, Mom, with cherry blossoms at the top, and that was from the last card she gave to me.
Okay.
That she could write. And then I got a quote that she wrote. She ingrained into me that when you give a card to somebody, you always write the year so you can remember.
Oh.
Because she kept all of them. And I kind of inherited that. So I guess one of my favorite things is that I cherish things very deeply. And when I get something that is very meaningful to me, especially something handwritten, I hold on to them so I can go back to them and kind of relive those words.
That's awesome.
And I think it kind of keeps their energy with you too. But I was going through and I was having a really rough day. Grief was taking over me in a very strong way. I couldn't stop crying, and I was like, I need to look through these cards. I want to see what there has to be something. There was like this itch in the back of my mind, like, I know she has something to tell me. I feel it. Like my intuition was just screaming, read the cards, Coral. And for my 19th birthday, she wrote, you are only limited by thinking that you are. And the funny part about that is where I was in my life at that point, I was working for Disney. I worked at Magic Kingdom for 5 years as a PhotoPass photographer, which was an incredible experience. I loved it to pieces. It was genuinely magical to me. I know that's not everyone's experience, but mine was life-changing.
Good. As it should. Take that in. Yeah.
No, oh my God. I would love to write a book about it, honestly.
Love that.
There's a lot of monumental, life-changing moments I had there.
I appreciate when people are able to do that where, yes, I worked for $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
And I put 11 years of everything into that company. Well, no, I gave it to the people that wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Wanted to be taught.
Right.
Kids on the spectrum, 88-year-old women who were like, I just want to learn how to edit a video.
Right.
And I wound up taking them to film festivals with it.
Yeah.
88 years old. Thelma was like, I don't know what I want to do. But at the end of the day, here's a company that, sure, we live off these things, right?
Right.
But, I took it a whole other level.
Right.
Disney.
I think it's important.
Yeah. Disney. Sure. Of course. You're going to hear stories.
Oh, so many tragic stories.
And here's the thing. I think people want to tell those stories because it's like, oh, woe is me.
Right.
The fact that you are taking something like a company like that and you are going to say, hey, I'm finding beauty in this, and this is what I love to do. I love that.
Yeah.
So one of your favorite memories of that, tell us. Like, do you have like a favorite memory of working?
Oh, God, so freaking many, man.
Okay, that's awesome, though. Like, honestly, that you
so
had that.
many.
And you literally lit up. You smiled. You looked off to the right.
did.
You looked at the top right of this room.
Yeah.
And you lit up. Like, seriously lit up. Like, almost teary-eyed. And I think that's beautiful. That's all. Yeah. I think that's beautiful.
There's so many. Probably, oh, man. Okay. So if I get emotional, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm just warning you.
I'm going to cry.
We're going to cry together.
Times. Okay, there you go.
It's going to be great.
There you go.
We're going to do it together. It's fine. So, although my Lexapro might not let me, who knows, but whatever. I'll do it later when it starts wearing off. So I worked at Magic Kingdom. As a photographer, I was in a lot of different areas a lot of the time. I also was a trainer, which was an amazing experience. I worked in the Bippity Bop Boutique. I was trained in the Pirates League, which unfortunately is no longer there, but it was amazing.
You probably love that.
Oh my God, it was my favorite. Are you kidding?
Yeah, you had to have loved that.
I absolutely adored it. I am
love
so
that.
a pirate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was Charlotte Gold Stealer, so that was my photographer's name. I loved it. But anyway, so there was that. And then I also, when Mickey started talking to guests, I was a part of the opening team for that, which was also a huge, oh my God, some of my favorite memories from Disney are from the times that he spoke to guests. And I've never been more angry at Disney for taking that away. Like, I get it. I'm not going to say it, but I understand the big picture of it.
Yeah, it's always the big picture.
But still, the magic I got to witness and what I know they took away from people just broke my heart.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, kids wanting to tell Mickey a story.
Oh, not even. One of the biggest things that happened, so my favorite memory with Mickey when he spoke to guests, I was out there for the very first day, very first guest. It was like 8 in the morning, 7:30. It was we were there for the extra, the parks can, not the parks, the resorts can come in an hour early.
Yeah.
So it was the resort guests that were coming in an hour early. And the very first guest in line was this very, very old lady for her like 95th, 96th birthday. And she didn't speak English very well. And she was rolled in with a wheelchair. She had a birthday hat on. She had a birthday pin on. I'm getting chills remembering this. And she came in, and Mickey is looking into the mirror, and he's humming and like singing. He used to sing to himself, which was the cutest thing. Oh my God, I can still hear it in my head. He was so cute. He would sit there and he'd be, messing with his bow tie, and he would, lick his tongue and then make sure his ears looked good. And he was precious. And I see this woman. My focus is on her. I definitely looked at Mickey because he's adorable. I can't, but as a photographer, we're there to make sure we're capturing that first, oh my God, it's Mickey moment.
Yeah.
And she's going around the corner, and she's looking around like, what the heck? Why do I hear humming, And her daughter, I'm assuming it was recording her face and then recording Mickey. And her daughter already was mouth open like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Mickey turns around and goes, "Hi, pal." And then immediately this very adorable old lady celebrating her birthday. I also noticed while I look over there and I'm seeing her reaction, I'm capturing that in the camera. I see she has a button. It's her first visit to Disney.
Oh, wow.
It's her first visit to Disney, and she's like 90-something years old. Yeah. She's celebrating her birthday. This is what she wanted to do for her whole life. I found out later. Her daughter told me.
Oy vey, man,
and
crazy.
Because I was the only guest in line. But yeah, so we got to have this beautiful magic, genuine magic moment.
Yeah.
And that's where the little girl in me sparked up, and I was like, see, I knew this stuff was real. I knew magic was real. I knew that this could happen, because I think the older you get, the more life happens, and the more, we become cynical. We become angry.
Yes,
we become dark. I am so much darker than I used to be. I used to be filled with so much light. Nothing could touch me. And now so much is weighing on me, But this old lady, for her birthday, for her first visit, the first thing she wanted to do that morning was see Mickey.
Yeah.
And he says to her, "Hi, pal," and he goes over and leans in for a hug. She's bawling her eyes out. He holds her hand, and she said, "I knew you were real.
Oh.
I told them." And all of us immediately sobbing. I was like, "Oh my God, he is real. It's so beautiful." And that's, people always say that Disney cast members were kind of like, brainwashed, whatever.
Uh-huh.
No, we get to see moments where humans become vulnerable, where humans get to become kids again, adults, grown-ass adults with all these big jobs, with the weight of the world on their shoulders. Maybe their parents going through cancer. Maybe their kid has lost their job and they're an adult and they're struggling and they're trying to figure out this, whatever. There's so many things that can happen in life. And as cast members, no, it's not always amazing. No, it's not always magical. Yes, there's a lot of bad. But so that's just life, That's what happens in life.
Yeah.
But in that moment, and you see this a lot, and I saw this a lot, like within guests, with interactions with characters, sometimes just seeing the castle for the first time, you see these people become kids again. You see children who don't believe in something bigger than themselves again. Yeah. And I think that is magical. And I think that it is powerful. Because, yes, is this a character, a fictional character? Absolutely. But it's what he can represent. It's what Walt wanted to, put into the world, which is everyone who comes here, hey, welcome. I want you, the way that they enter in through the kingdom, it's, the archway, you're at the train station, but you're it's kind of like the unveiling. The curtain is pulling over. That's kind of what they teach you in.
Because you have not the square, but it's like the circle, I guess it's a square, and then you look down.
Yeah. And then there's the castle.
There's the castle. Yeah.
Anything that you want to believe in, it can come true, And in that day, that woman's dreams, bam, true. And something to tie it back to what my mom wrote to me, you are only limited by thinking that you are. I really think that so many people, whether you are neurotypical or neurodivergent, I think all of us, we're human, right? I think a lot of us fall under that category of we limit ourselves because we were told that we couldn't. My mom used to say all the time as well, can't means won't. Every time I would say, no, I can't do that. And she goes, can't means won't.
Yeah, then you won't do it. Okay. Yeah.
So you won't do it. No, Mom, I just can't. No. You will not. You are choosing not
makes
to.
So much sense. Yeah.
You're choosing not to.
How have I never heard that?
Isn't that great?
Yeah, but it makes so much sense. Yeah.
The older I get, and especially, death brings a lot to the table.
Yeah, it does.
It makes you overthink everything. And for me, as an overthinker, I overanalyze. I dive in so deeply to things that I probably shouldn't. And I just go down the dark rabbit hole of, oh my gosh. And then I have these huge epiphanies. God, I've never done any psychedelics, but at this point I'd be terrified because as a sober mind, I already do this. I don't want to know what it's going to be like psychedelically.
I've never done a psychedelic, but it's almost like. Oof. Then I've wanted to at a point where I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna.
I feel like a lot of demons would come out.
Yeah, but now that I'm 50, I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm good. I'm good. One thing that I have to say about that experience that you had, my buddy Robin, she was Tinkerbell.
Oh, she was besties.
So she would fly
the castle. That was a very few amount of bells.
Yeah.
How cute.
And she did that for forever.
Yeah.
Because who else, it's like, how do you pass that? How do you pass the wings on to somebody else?
Ain't that the truth?
And so.
Yeah, you got to get a lot of pixie dust, man.
She would say, every day was magical.
Yeah.
Of just how many faces, how many people. Because she took it all in.
Yeah.
Robin took it all in.
As you should.
As you should. And I thought that was awesome because, once again, people, I hope you're about to hear what I have to say. Stop using this term, please. Working for that company, that tech company, and being a teacher there, I didn't know, but I took it to a level where I was like, look, I want to teach. And right away, everybody got it that I worked with. And I would have so many people say so when did you drink the Kool-Aid? Or I'd have customers do the whole, like, finally drank the Kool-Aid. They tell me to work with you. And the one thing I did, I always looked at them and said, well, this is what we're going to do. We're never going to use that term again.
I hate when they use that.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, isn't that what it's called? And I go, so, yeah, no, the Kool-Aid actually wasn't Kool-Aid. It was cyanide. And so I'm sure you've heard of the Jonestown Massacre. And you watch their face just go, oh. Or if they hadn't, I'd be like, so this is it. It's the biggest genocide to ever happen with an American soil, basically, which was not. It was in Guyana. And so people would always just be like, oh, I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, so here's what we're going to do. You now got something that's a phone, but I'm going to teach you what photography is all about. I'm going to teach you what videography is all about. I'm going to teach you how to use this to where the passions are. And man, how many kids I've taught, how many people I taught. I think it's really how you are going to work you into that company to the best that you want to be in that role that you want to be. And I knew every day I was going to impact someone's life with that. You are going to take this and and I always tell somebody after they were like, I never knew I could do that with my phone. I never knew I could do that with my camera. I'd be like, good, go home, teach somebody else that. Mm-hmm. I would go to Disney. And I would see people with their cameras or their phones, and they would be doing, like, having it in portrait like this, and they would just tap their finger on it and be like, oh, no. I would actually, and people were like, Brian, what are you doing? I would take their arms, put a landscape like that, and be like, all right, use the volume button. They would do that, and they'd be like, I had no idea. I'm like, now you do.
That's so
I'm
funny.
like, now you're getting, like, everything. And
right.
So, yeah, I think once you don't look at the company and you look within,
right.
That's what I think is going to make so many more people appreciate, really, at the end of the day, why they went to Disney that day.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, maybe going like, oh, God, we're going to Disney, giving them my money where they're just, like, the biggest company in the world. Oh,
yeah.
Who gives a shit? Like, really, at the end of the day, what are you getting out of it? And I want you to learn and inspire and just be proud of who you are that day there. I love it. I love that you could come to this table and tell that story.
Yeah. Well, so two things that caught my ear as you were sharing that.
Okay.
That I actually think is so
important. Because I saw you itching.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
I was actually at one point saying, I'm going to keep talking to see if she's going to stop me. So.
I was so close. You remember earlier by my tongue, I shouldn't have it.
Yeah. I was like, she's bleeding. Oh God, she bit her tongue.
Oh God. See, I did good. Good
you
job,
did great.
me.
You did great.
So two things that really shot out at me. You were talking about your friend and how she really took it in. Well, when you are doing that job, you are above everybody in the sense of you are really high up. You are seeing a larger scale of the park because you are literally on a zip line over the park.
On a zip line.
Over the park.
Yeah.
Right. Insane. Airplanes. When you're flying on an airplane, you get to see the world in a different perspective. When you go up the stairs and you look down, we're in a library. I looked down and I was like, oh, look at all the people. They're smaller now.
Yeah.
Something going all the way back to the question that you had asked about something else that my mom had taught me.
Yeah.
That was really big for me. Change your perspective.
Oh.
If something feels like too much, look upside down. AKA, change your perspective. So if I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I'm anxious. Oh, because I'm doing this and I did this wrong and I could have done this better and now I'm causing this problem, that problem. Whoa. Stop. Take a breath. I do my therapist encourages me to do check-ins, so I breathe in.
Yeah, the check-in's so important.
Holding my chest. Breathe in really deep. Breathe out. I am safe. Everything I can be in control of, I am. And anything I cannot control, I am handling to the best of my ability. That's all you need to say. That helps the anxiety calm for me. It helps me. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes I have to chant that like 7 times, sometimes 20.
Of course.
But right after that check-in, I usually think, okay, let's look at the big picture then. Because so many people, we hone in, negativity, that's a very small energy. Fear, small energy. Happiness, huge.
Yeah.
Love, huge. the amount of times that so many people focus on the negative, and we're all bad at this because we're all human beings. We're structured, our brains are wired to look at both, but those of us who are a little spicy in our brains, that's what I like to call my brain anyway.
Oh, no. I can't believe it took me, 6 months ago to hear neurospicy? And
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Like spicy food. It's not made for everybody, but it works for a lot of people, so therefore it's great.
You were the first to say it out and about.
Oh.
When you said that, when we were talking the first time, and you said, I'm a little spicy, I went, this is the first time I'm hearing it out and about.
Yeah.
Nobody else that I know that hey, I'm on the spectrum or da-da-da.
Yeah, no, I like to tell people.
You were the first to ever say it, and I was like, yay!
Yeah, neurospicy, man. I wear it loud and proud because you know what? My brain is wired differently, and I do have to think about a lot of different things in life differently. And as somebody who looks at the world differently, I also feel differently.
Yeah.
Everything is to the 10th degree.
Always.
I am happy. Oh my God, this is the best day of my life. I am sad.
Yes.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm going to die. I'm
Yes.
miserable. I'm so depressed. I'm terrified. Oh my God, death is imminent. It's going to happen. I see the light already. I'm planning my grave. I see it. Like I can see it.
Poltergeist is now a documentary.
Right. I'm like, and there goes my ghost. I can see the spirit leaving the body. Like everything that I feel is powerful, which means it is really hard to come to reality, which means when I have these human moments of fear, of doubt, of anxiety, of depression, of anything negative that somebody would view negatively, right?
Yeah.
That all something my mom taught me as well. Energy has frequency, and frequency-wise, fear and all those other things, they have a very low impact energy. Happiness and all that other kind of stuff, that has a very high energy. So the more you are yourself, the more authentic you are, the more you own who you are, and you just say, you know what, whatever, man, you're going to either like me or you don't. I tell people all the time, I'm sure I've said it to you guys when I'm at work and you guys visit, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, honey, but I am my own cup of tea, and I like it. And you know what? Some people like it too. It's not up to me to be everyone's favorite. It's not like that. I don't care.
I had to sell that cup of tea to everybody.
Oh yeah, no, I did for the most of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm only 30, but still, like, it only just recently clicked in my head that I do not need to be a part of every single person's life, and vice versa.
Oh shit, man! I was what? It was when my dad died.
Yeah.
It was when my dad died. I had to impress my older sister.
Oh yeah.
I had to connect with my mom. I knew she didn't want. I mean, it's not that I knew she didn't want me, but it's like, here's where we got those words that in the 80s it was okay to say. Spaz, hyperactive, stupid.
Yep.
The one R word, if you say that in front of me, let's drop kick your teeth out.
Yep.
And these were words I heard all the time.
Yep.
And that was like, okay, when I go to school, you're going to have to like me. You know, I got a job when I was 14 years old at Publix because I needed to get out of the house. I needed those people now to like me. And guess what? Everybody I bagged their groceries loved me. Loved me.
Yeah.
Like, your clothes are going to go in here. Your pantry stuff goes in there. And I loved it from 4 to 7 every day.
Yeah.
And then I had to sell it when I had my record store. Then I had to sell it in film school. Then I had to sell it in the music industry, in the film industry, and then everything I've ever done.
Mm-hmm. People pleasing is exhausting.
Oh my God. Friend maintenance is exhausting.
Yeah.
Because once you have those friends,
yep.
then you got those checklists. My friend Jim taught me this. Jim DeSantis was like, one day, he was like, you know what you do? And I could tell, but you want to make everybody happy. And you have your little checklist, and you're like, okay, so today I got to make sure I call this person. Or I got to say, hey, how was you? I have to remember everything they did that week to make sure, hey, I'm paying attention to you. I'm paying attention to you. But when did they ever ask you how you did?
Ooh, big one.
Well, that happened in my last split with my ex, and all that happened. It was Casey that threw that in my face.
Yeah.
When are they texting to see how you're doing? You're texting everybody all the time. Now that you work from home, everybody that you work with in your old store, when are they going to reach out to you? And when they do, is it ever to see how you're doing, or are they talking about themselves?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and something I will say too is I think it's so difficult, especially so for me, my personal experience, especially with ADHD, what I'm learning, because that was also a recent diagnosis for me.
Yeah, it was.
But what I'm learning about my mind is that it is really hard for me to remember certain details about things. So I actually started writing notes, and I have them labeled with people's names.
Oh, wow.
So that way I can remember.
I've never done that.
Yeah, so I can remember their favorite color, their favorite food, their favorite order at Starbucks, their favorite whatever, things that we talked about that I could maybe gift them later on.
Yeah, you're making a baseball card based on their
exactly.
Here's your stats. This is what you love. This is what you do. Turn-ons, turn-offs.
Yeah, and this is something that I've recently, especially, working in hospitality, I serve so many people. I have a lot of regulars, and I adore the crap out of those human beings. They are beautiful people. I have been so lucky to be able to work at a place that I can be authentically myself. They accept me, they support me, and then now I have these lovely humans that come into this restaurant just to see me. What?
Yeah.
And I get to talk with them, and I get to build these relationships. Honey, do you know how many of their names I know?
Yeah, exactly, right.
I've been working at that place exhausting. For 4 years.
Yeah.
I have been seeing some of the same faces.
Learning all that's so exhausting.
No, I can't remember. But you know what I do remember, because it's repetitive? Their orders.
Oh, of course.
Their favorite orders, their favorite drinks, what they're allergic to, because it's repetitive. If it's not repetitive, I don't remember it. If it's not physical, so if it's not written, I can't remember it.
This is exactly bringing me back to a week ago. We're at Digress last Monday, right? You don't know the name of the wine you want. But damn, you know the flavors, you know what you want out of it. That's what it's like with, I guess, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
When we have a friend, not a friend, but somebody who comes in regular.
Yeah.
You know their order, you know this. I just can't remember the name of the wine. What is their name is that wine, right? You're I know it's red, I know it's gammy, I know it's got maybe black cherry, things like that. Plum. Is it a Pinot Noir? Pinot Noir? No, maybe it's a Granaca. Something it's what is that name again? Damn.
Yep.
And I get it. Let's go back to the numbers. I can't remember anybody's phone number.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it crazy? I used to remember so many numbers.
I lost this right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd be done.
How the hell is Casey going to find me?
Yeah. Dude,
honestly.
The only phone
she's
number.
On her way here, but it's one of those things. I don't. It's 3, 2, 1. I'm dead. That's all I got.
Dead.
It's I'm not making it home anytime soon.
There we go.
And guess what? I just remembered the candle's still burning at home.
Oh, no. Not the candle.
That damn candle's just there's you get a shot. It's in a movie. There's the candle going, that little asshole forgot about me. I'm going to burn the house down sooner or later. But yeah.
That's
okay. Another game.
Ooh,
True or false?
Yeah.
True or false?
Here we go.
High, when it comes to getting high overload of sensory overload or overstimulation, true or false? Is this something that you get? So again, you can't answer with yes or no, or true or false. What is the last story that you would have of that sensory overload, or is it something oh, I see people that do have it, or do you have it?
So definitely, yeah. Right. So overstimulation, right? So that's kind of when I earlier had mentioned these big feelings that I don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
That's me overstimulated. And, last week when we were at Digress, I had said, my brain, she's short-circuiting right now, and therefore I need to stop and reboot and then come to. Yeah, maybe I'll come back and be woohoo, I'm all good now. That's the best way I can describe it, is it genuinely feels as if my brain just stopped working and I just everything stutters. If I'm looking at an old TV screen, snow is coming up and there's the lines going up and down, that's what's going on in my brain. Mm-hmm. But everything that I'm feeling is it's huge. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than the room. So I'm getting in this space where now, oh my God, I'm sweating. Ooh, I can feel my clothes. Ooh, this is itchy. Oh my God, she's screaming. Why is she screaming? That's so loud.
Yep, sounds for sure.
It is And I've never been sensitive to sound. I'm a loud person
Me
in a
too.
loud family.
Me too, because you like concerts, like or
I
like
love
shows,
concerts.
right?
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too.
I mean, I listen to metal, of course.
Yeah,
I love
was just
it.
gonna say, like honestly, double bass drums are my thing.
Oh,
like I
yeah.
could at any
The
day
more you
give it
scream
to.
at me, I'm happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite shows of all time, Pantera's. They were doing. It was it Cowboys? No, it was Vulgar Display of Power, and it was the loudest show I've ever been to.
Really?
And it was just because it was a small area. It was,
Yeah.
and honestly, it was so loud. I remember my ears for days, but I was still like, that was the greatest.
It was.
the best show.
Yeah.
Phil's flying off the stacks, and it was like the whole crowd was like pulling each other's hair, like or screaming, like walk. That's what that guitar in that song. Yeah, man. Sounds is beeping. Sounds are the turn signal on.
Oh,
I
see,
can't do that.
I can't handle repetitive.
Yeah,
if it
I can't
repeats,
do-
I can't.
When the turn signal's on, and I think this is where I hid it from Casey, because I would turn the turn signal on. I'd be like, so she would think I'm normal, and then I would go, I'd flick it off and be like, I can't do it. I hate that sound.
I never
hate that
use
sound.
Yeah, I hate it.
I hate
So
it.
do I.
So
Or
things like
clapping. Disney ruined me. I can't stand clapping.
I hate clapping.
I can't
hate
do it.
clapping.
Okay, so here's where I'm okay with clapping. And this is how I think it is for my whole life. If it's supposed to happen, so
A
someone
Broadway
gives
show.
right at the end, oh my God, standing ovation.
Graduation.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end of a concert. At the end of whatever. At the end.
At the end.
Yes. Woohoo. If you are clapping, like here's where Disney scarred me.
Okay.
They had the electrical parade.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And that music is identical. It's the same thing over and over and over. I used to get so anxious when that parade would go by.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's such a cute parade. It's so adorable. But for the first 2 years, before I could really get that ingrained into my brain, it spiked my anxiety, and I
Yeah.
was so overloaded because now there's also humans all over around. You're just stuck, and I was like, I'm claustrophobic. But people would clap during that parade.
The whole time.
And it was
'Cause
also off
each float's
beat,
going by.
which my own
God,
now
don't do that.
and
Yeah.
now my
Yeah.
OCD is going,
Yeah.
are you an
not
idiot?
that
What
hard.
are you
It's not that hard.
doing?
Yeah.
And then I'm angry.
It's
and
timing.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Something that I realized about myself is if I expect it, it's okay. The second I don't expect it, I'm freaking out. If I'm already in that overwhelmed headspace where my body is now reacting, my anxiety is now reacting, I realize that things that are not supposed to be happening, a random loud abrupt clap, for example, or
yeah.
in the restaurant, for example, if I'm getting overstimulated because of the amount of things that I have piling on my to-do list in my head, which nobody realizes I have, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Don't talk to me if I'm at the computer. This is my safe space. People, if you go to a restaurant and you see a server at a computer, do not speak to them. Please. The amount of times
Just
people
sit at your
interrupt
table.
that, I'm
Just
like,
sit at your
can you
table.
just, right.
Sit at your table.
And
We'll be
there's
there.
one table.
You went there for a reason, is to sit there.
Right. So
You're not, your
just
house.
let me do it in my time.
Your house isn't saying, oh, so you're going to be back in about like 8 o'clock. Okay.
Exactly.
Do your thing. Like
Right.
you went out.
But also,
This is what
the
happens.
one drink that you want to order, the lemon you want for your water, the random food order, I'm going to come to you within the next 5 minutes. It's not going to kill you if you don't have that. If I'm at the computer and I'm trying to ring stuff in, that is not the time to go up to me and say, hey, by the way, I had a question about this. Blah, 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 blah. No, stop.
Yeah.
There's so many
Got that
times
whole
I
way.
have to very politely but sternly go, I am memorizing 3 things right now. No. I'm sorry,
Good for
but
you.
no. Because you have to.
So I think that's what's so great about this is that we're going to normalize it. We're going to normalize it because I'm with you. When I would tour with either if it was at the drive-in, Jimmy Eat World, even with Modest Mouse, when Jeremiah was like, I'm not going to do this. When drummers would do the whole sound check, snare, 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 snare.
I don't like being around for soundtrack.
Tom. Drums go on for like 20-something minutes. I would always go, hey, do you want me to do that for you guys today? Go get barbecue. Go do this. I would be like, if I'm not doing it, nobody else is doing it.
Right.
Because now I'm the one in control of the snare.
And you're expecting
snare,
it, right.
Snare, little higher, snare. I'm expecting it.
Right.
When somebody else is doing it, I'm going, I can't do this right now. I can't do this right now. So it'd always
Yeah.
be like, hey, Quayne, we're going to go ahead. do you want to do the drum tech? I was like, yeah, I'll do it, because I'm a drummer. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Had to. That's like, I never thought of that until we're sitting right now talking about it, which is crazy.
Well, something that just randomly popped in my head, something that I've learned about anxiety. What is anxiety? A lot of people wonder, okay, well, where does it come from? Something I learned really early on in life is a lot of these things that we experience usually stem from a base root of fear. There's a book by Jay Shetty, Think Like a Monk. My favorite chapter was fear. And a lot of these things that we experience come from a very small base of fear. And anxiety is the fear that I'm not in control of this situation. Anxiety is the lack of control, or more so the thought that we are not in control, which is why something that my therapist has shared with me, like, hey, maybe this will help, is I am safe. I am in control of what if I can control it, I'm in control of it. If I can't control it, I am handling it to the best of my ability, and that's all that I can give. All we can ever do is try our best.
Amen.
And the thing is like, as a person who's lived with anxiety, undiagnosed the majority of my life, like I officially got diagnosed 2 years ago with the general anxiety disorder.
Okay.
And living with it as a kid, as a young adult, like, I really wish I would have heard conversations on it.
Yeah.
And
how different did you feel then? Like, from everybody else?
Abnormal. I always told people I'm just really weird and awkward. And I was the misfit. I was the girl with the ripped jeans, I was a scene kid. I was this, a lot of people say they don't know what scene is anymore. And I'm like, guys, come on.
Isn't that crazy?
Go on Pinterest.
That's so crazy to me.
Scene was a beautiful thing. AKA, they're like punky, gothic-y hipsters.
Yeah. At the end of the day, a scene kid was like, right. I mean, God, I was...
But I had the hair,
like
too.
The birth of it.
Yeah.
My whole life, I always said, like, oh, I'm on the island of the misfit toys, or like... There was a song by Archers of Loaf, and what was it? The Scuzz, Punks, something Scumbags, Punks, and Freaks. And I was like, that always stood out to me, where I was like, that's us. A song called Harness and Slums off the album Vivi. Go listen to it now, everybody. And it was that, where I was like, that's what I felt my record store was. We were just the punks and freaks.
Right.
And I always kind of said, this is where I want to be with all these, and you bet your ass everybody on that membership or checklist, they're all where my brain is.
Right.
And so that's where I felt so comfortable. Because I always felt abnormal. I always felt different. Always. And my mom and sister made sure of that, though, too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what is that, though? What is that? When you sit there and you say, oh, well, I'm weird. I'm I talk too much, or I like this weird band. And what is weird? Weird is different.
No, it's true.
What is being on the spectrum? It's different. That doesn't mean that you're stupid. It doesn't mean that you are incompetent. Right. Yeah. We are wired differently, and different is scary for the people who think that we are cookie cutter humans. That's what the school system is. That's what politics is. Like,
yes.
Why?
Yes.
Every single person is not made to do the same thing. I am not meant to be a lawyer or a doctor or a scientist.
And thank God. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Thank God.
Exactly.
Because you'd be wasting the talent of a conversation like this.
Exactly.
You would be hiding. You'd be masking.
Right.
Masking what you actually are to be something that's the norm. And that always scared the hell out of me, because I felt like I had to be.
Exactly.
But I was still so good at being different.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I was like, I'm good at this different. I'm great at this different. And then finally, Casey's like, you ever think you're on the spectrum? And I'm like, ha, ha, ha. I sort of, there was a laugh track. I felt like I was on on a sitcom. I was like, this is the pilot episode of Brian on the Spectrum.
I'm dead.
And so when she's like, you tap and you repeat and you do this and you're always like that. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
A year and a half later, the nurse practitioner is like, remember that thing that you thought was a joke when Casey said that you might be on the spectrum?
Yeah.
Congratulations, buddy. We're going to get you tested.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was like, that was the worst day ever.
Oh, was it really?
Yes. And I never told you that.
Oh, wow.
Because that was the day I learned you are different.
Yeah.
You're broken.
Oh.
And it was also the time when I was going through my major depression
Right.
from what that company that I worked for did to me. And it's also because I thought that's why I got let go of the job I had. And that's a
so
story I'm
hard.
not ready to tell on this yet. It's going to come out.
Right.
It's definitely going to come out.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge part of this journey.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the day that Casey was going to leave me. Because now we have a reason for my flare-ups, my impatientness, my tapping, why I'm more angry than ever. And thank God she's a loving son of a bitch because she was right the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not someone that goes like, I have to be right. By God, I've never felt that way. I've
Right.
never felt I was in the right. But I would like to be, and I'd like to think it sometimes. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to finally, I'm now realizing, yeah, I got this. Oh, yeah, and I got this. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
okay, this is where I am. Now watch me go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch me do the damn thing.
Yeah. And that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. And honestly, I mean, hopefully people can listen and go, damn, he's right. Because I felt the same way.
Yeah.
And hopefully you didn't. Hopefully people didn't. Hopefully when they found out they were diagnosed, or if you haven't been diagnosed yet, because this will probably lead to the last question I ask. Let's ask it now. Have you ever felt, now that you are, we're going 2 years ago, when you first realized, where you first were diagnosed, right?
Okay.
Did you ever now feel that there are people that are giving you the, well, isn't everyone on the spectrum, or a little bit? Isn't everybody just a little bit on the spectrum? Or is it a bandwagon thing now to be on the spectrum? Because that's something I am hearing. Is there something that you feel is a thing that's like, okay, now it's okay, like it's more of a bandwagon thing to be different? And how do you feel being within that realm of being on the spectrum?
Ooh.
I know it's a big one.
That's a really good one because I think there's a lot of layers to dissect
Mm-hmm.
within that. I think as a society, you're taught different is scary, and that's why so many terrible things in history has happened and then repeated, you know?
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, oh no, you're different from me, let's kill you, you know? Oh, you have a different idea, let's have a war.
I mean,
You know, like it's
it's crazy when people, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No,
it's
it's okay.
crazy when people do actually say to me, Casey has said it plenty of times, wait, you mean you have people like anti-Semitically talk to you?
Yeah.
Or people react to you in an anti-Semitic way? And I'm like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Well, everybody,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes. There is that hate somewhere that, no, maybe at that moment they weren't anti-Semitic, but they found out I'm Jewish and they went, oh, you know what, I'm having a bad day. So yeah, I am now. And
Right.
it's just like, okay, well, you know, it happens. So I'm glad you said that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I think it's hard because overall existing different, it's not a bad thing.
No.
I do think that a lot more with awareness comes a lot more discussion, right? With awareness comes a lot more people who are now finally feeling comfortable saying, hey, wait, me too. I mean, we had a Me Too movement when it came to women. You know, we're talking about sexual harassment. Finally,
I was the somewhere in the top 10 people that found out that morning because my producer called me.
Yeah.
And there is a certain mail where this all started,
right.
where we were getting money from that scumbag. And I was like, I don't want to be part of that.
Right.
And it was 3 or 4 or 5 days later, my producer Darren called me to say, CNN's going to put out a story next Monday.
Oh.
And Harvey Weinstein is being called out for his sexual harassments. And I said, so did we, and he goes, I ripped up that virtual check, Brian. We're no longer part of that. And I go, never was I. I said, Darren, never was I. And he's like, I get it. Yeah. I remember that because not even an hour later, CNN, boom, didn't even take a day.
Yeah.
Didn't even take 2 days.
Yeah.
Not even Monday. It was a Friday, and my buddy Rick who I'm actually going to Crest with on Wednesday
How fun.
with his wife. I screamed so loud in the back room where we worked. And I went, "You motherfucker." And he just went, "Brian, what happened?" And I went, "Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
There's a movement.
Yeah.
There's a movement. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God there's a movement."
Well, and that's, I think, the point that I'm getting at is when you experience something in life, a lot of people as humans, we think, oh, I'm alone on this. The second it is now being talked about, holy crap, other people have experienced it. I've been raped before. That sucks.
Sucks. It's the worst
When
feeling.
I share that with other people and they feel safe enough to share with me, holy crap, I've never told this to anybody. Me too. Like, when I sit there and I say, hey, I have OCD. I got PTSD because I was in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, that sucks.
I have all these, I have ADHD, anxiety, depression. Like, I got all these things. What's wrong with me? Where do you want to start?
Yeah. And when you do mention that relationship, you semi are like Wolverine. A little bit of your little blades come out. They're not full. Probably like a year and a half ago where you're like, I'm going to kill that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I see last Monday where those little blades did come out, but you're like, okay, let's just push them back in because you're better now. Like there's like, you're not the best.
No.
Because I'll be honest with you, I still can't take my shirt off with Casey. Oh my God. That's why I'm pulling the shutters down. I'm locking the doors and I'm like going into the basement to go take a piss. You know, it's because, hey, remember when you were 7 years old when your dad died and your mom's best friend did what she did? Yeah. That shit. That hits.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It is. And the thing is trauma like that, like I never realized when people said therapy is work, I never realized what they meant by that until I did it.
No, yeah,
and then
of
I
course.
said, holy crap, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's a whole, I feel like I have to clock in, clock out, but it's not a bad thing. I say that as if it's a bad thing. It sounds like it's a bad thing. Nobody likes going to work. But
it's heavy.
It's heavy. You have to relive it, but therefore you get to heal it, you know? And I feel like, you know, something my boyfriend often mentions to me is you just nonchalantly throw stuff out. And I'm like, because it happened.
It happened. Yeah.
And because people need to make this aware. I, thank God, am comfortable enough in who I am as a person and what I have been through in life that it's like, you know what? This sucked. What didn't kill me? It did not make me stronger.
Amen.
It almost freaking killed me.
Amen. Yeah.
But I chose to do better.
Yeah.
I chose to learn. I chose to grow. I chose to fight. I chose, yes. Anyways, I thought I said it wrong for 5 seconds. My brain said, excuse me. Anyways, no, I made choices to make sure that I could do better because I decided that living that life was not okay anymore.
Yeah.
I decided that I'm going to use my voice because I remember what it was like to not be allowed to have one. I remember what it was like to be cut off from people that matter to me, where I actually felt like I was in danger if I were to share something about said relationship to somebody else. Like I really thought something bad was going to happen to me.
Yeah.
That kind of thing is terrifying to live through. And I think it all all that to say, like, I think it circles back into, at the end of the day, with more discussion, with more awareness, there's always going to be a negative. My mom truly believed a lot in yin and yang. Mm-hmm. My nails are black and white right now.
Yep.
I love the contrast of yin and yang.
I do it all the time.
It is.
My first feature that I wrote, if I remember correctly, Mark Duplass said yin and yang. Darren said yin and yang. Spike Lee was like, you have a really shitty way of doing yin and yang, but it's yin and yang. I had, it was black and white, black and white, black and white, and I built it on that contrast of black and white. Yeah.
It's always there's within all things negative, there will always be a positive and vice versa.
Oh, vice versa. Yep.
Right. And the thing is like, I do get those comments a lot. I do get everyone's weird. Everyone's a little like neurodivergent. Everybody's on the spectrum. Everybody. And I'm like, you guys are using blanket statements. Just because more awareness is brought to it does not mean that everybody literally exists within this world that we exist in. Yeah. not everybody is diagnosed with this. Not everybody thinks this way, which is why we grow up with the struggles that we have. I mean, think about race, for example.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Perfect example. Yeah.
You don't know what they exist in.
Yeah, exactly.
No human being understands the weight that the problem of, well, what society has made a problem of different ethnicities is. Or, you know, people on the spectrum. So many people think, oh, spectrum, so you're autistic as hell and you're weird, you know, you can't function. And I'm like, no, that's also not autism.
Yeah, that is the one thing. It's like, come on.
Can you get educated?
So here's the thing. Let's get back to the race. Like, yeah, I'll never know. But you know what? Like Bill Withers, lean on me.
Yeah.
If you need me, I'm there.
Right.
Whatever you want me to do. Benny King, stand by me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am your ally. I am your friend. I want to learn.
Right.
I don't want to be in your shoes. That's you.
Right.
That is you. And how about we stop saying whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
Because anybody who smoked 2 packs a day, so those cigarettes didn't kill you, but they didn't make you stronger.
Nope.
So how about we take a step back on that? Because that's something also where it's like, oh, stop. Just put your arm around somebody and say, I got you.
Right.
I don't have to be you. I don't have to be where you are too.
Exactly.
That's, again, I think where this whole reason to believe thing, from life coaching to podcasting to video series to what we're going to do, is to educate, inspire, storytelling.
Yeah.
Storytelling and normalize it.
Yeah. Everybody has a story and every story is meaningful. Just because it's not yours, that doesn't make it less important. It just makes it different, and different is not bad. It's beautiful. And I think more people need to embrace that. I think the thing that breaks my heart, I work with a lot of people all the time. I mean, as a business owner, I was a professional wedding photographer for 10 years. I loved it. You work with so many different people within hospitality, within photography. And honestly, I think the biggest thing that I see more of, that more people don't talk about, is the kindness in the very small little ways. That, for example, this girl was ordering her food with me like 3 days ago. She was really timid. I could tell that she was really uncomfortable. And she said, could I just have this, but no cheese, please. I'm sorry. I can't eat cheese. No cheese. And I was like, yeah, no worries. I got you. No cheese. She ordered something else. But no cheese. No cheese. I can't with the dairy. She was very uncomfortable. And I looked at her and I said, darling, it's okay. You're allowed to ask for something taken off. That's an easy fix that we can do. If it's not already made in, I can remove it for you. You don't have to apologize for asking for something that your body needs.
Yeah.
Every human body is made differently. It's okay. And I think it really, in the short of things, I think people just need to look at other humans as exactly that, other human beings. We all struggle. We're all insecure. We all go through things. It might not be the same story, but we all go through the emotions of feeling unwanted or confused or loved and happy. And I think being able to be more mindful is where people get lost. And I think the second somebody judges, I mean, we're all guilty of it, but the second somebody sits there and judges somebody else for what they wear or what they look like or whether or not, I mean, hell, are you gay? Are you straight? There's so many things that people decide to pick out and choose and hate on. And it's like, guys, can we look at the bigger picture? Can we go upside down and look from a different perspective?
We're
all gonna die.
That's so good. We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna freaking die. So why are you making it harder for everybody around you? Just because you're miserable, please don't use that on somebody else. And to those of us who experience it, who are, I enjoy using the word enlightened. I think the more you learn, the more enlightened you become, and the more mindful you become of others, the more aware you become. And I think utilizing that in a positive way. So when you have somebody who's angry, I really hope you have a better day today.
Yeah.
Kill them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness.
You know?
And honestly, I think it was inauguration day when Elon Musk did his Nazi salute, right? And that was the day I realized this podcast is going to get political no matter what, whether I like it or not.
Everything always circles back to that, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be severe right, severe left.
Everything was, this is what autism looks like.
Ugh.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
And I took a step back. I was off social media with the podcast and everything. And I did a video saying, that's not what autism looks like. And I wanted to talk to the parents saying, if you have a kid that's in school right now, chances are they have friends that are on the spectrum. And are you telling me that's what power and greed looks like? CNN had a whole article headline that was just basically people saying autism, this of Elon Musk's mannerism or something like that. And I was like, and it wasn't leaning towards the time that that's what, autism looks like, but it was like, why even bring that into a headline?
Yeah.
Why is that not even a thing? That's called hate. That's called again,
discrimination.
And so, so I was easily just like, damn, this is now taking me. It was like a penalty on in a NFL game. Like it was like, okay, penalty, 20 yards back. And I'm like,
right.
I just want to there's no end zone.
Yeah.
With this, there's no end zone. This is my life and I'm going to go. But I kind of want to get closer to the end zone because that's where it's safe. That's where the points are. That's where I don't think there's an end game to this, and I want there to be. But at the same time, it sucks when things knock you back, especially when it comes to something as gross as that.
Right.
Yeah. And it's so aggravating that it does get political for no reason at all.
Yeah.
It's brains.
I mean, take women's bodies. Why the fuck is that political? Are you kidding me right now?
I can't believe that's even a thing. Like,
I agree.
How far we're going back.
No, I know.
How far we're going back. So that's why normalizing.
Yeah.
The heart is a muscle. I said it earlier, and I believe in it 100%. And my friends from Australia, they have an album called Go Farther in Lightness, a band called Gang of Youth, and there is a song called The Heart is a Muscle. And I want to make it grow.
Yeah.
End of the day, I want to make it grow.
That's awesome.
So let's do this then. One last question because I don't actually have one. So I'm going to make it up as I go along.
Okay, goody. I like it.
Let's do that.
Yeah, winging it.
What is, for those that are, some of you that are neurospicy out there, this is for you. Mm-hmm. And then for anybody that isn't, but has a coworker, a family member, a friend that is, what is something at the end of the night that you're turning off the lights, you're ready to go to bed, in 20 minutes, you're about to dream, oy vey. But right before you're about to dream, what is something that helps you now go, so you could have like 10 minutes of peace before you go to sleep? Or is that something you can do?
I will say it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thank goodness for my doctor. He prescribed me a beautiful sleeping pill.
There you go. Yeah,
which works really well with my Lexapro. And I've felt more steady for a while. And that's been great. I've been sleeping wonderfully. A lot of things are rebalancing in my life because of it. But something that I like to do before I go to bed, as well as when I wake up. There was a sign that I found when I moved out into my first apartment in 2020. I had just left the abusive one. I put as much as I could on my credit card, got this apartment. I had a moving box as a coffee table. I had almost no furniture. Like, I had nothing, but it was everything to me.
Yeah.
And in those moments, something like I was going through Ross. I love a good deal. I love thrifting. I love going to Ross. I love finding as much as I can for,
of course.
I don't want to spend a pretty penny. And
especially when we don't make the prices.
The truth.
God, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
I know it is.
I understand that.
But I was in Ross and I saw this sign and I got it and I put it in my bathroom because the first thing you do before you wake up or before you go to bed is you use the bathroom. The first thing you do when you wake up, you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I put the sign in the bathroom and it reads, "Start each day with a grateful heart." But I like to end it with one as well. So every night before I go to bed, I sit there. I talk to my mom every
Beautiful.
night. Since she passed, I talk to her every single day, multiple times a day, but especially at night before I go to bed. And I'll do that, and then I sit there and I go, okay, what are things I'm grateful for? I try to at least name 2. And the fun part about this, and something that I've learned within neuroscience as well, is the things that you speak, imagine it. When you imagine it, your brain takes that in and starts creating new
pathways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're
rewiring, because that's what I have to do.
Yeah, we're basically rewiring our brain.
Yeah.
Hey, I am a good person. Today I was kind. Today I made someone's day, and that was beautiful. And then I take it away from me and I say, today I'm grateful. My best friend Samantha hugged me and told me that I was doing incredible today. Or I got a call from Nico, my boyfriend, and he told me how great I am and how resilient I am and that I've got this. I'm grateful that I have these relationships. Sometimes they're not always that pretty. I'm going to be honest. I have really, really dark, bad days.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that about me because I don't show it. I mask well.
Yeah,
I was raised that way
Yeah.
in the sense of I realized that my normal self was too much, so I reeled it in a lot for people.
I don't even think we were raised on it. It was
it was kind of self-taught.
It was self-taught.
Yeah.
That's what other people had to do.
Right.
They were like...
It was more self-taught raising,
I was
My
like,
mom
okay,
didn't teach me.
Yeah. It was just like, okay, I guess I have to hide it at this moment, in this moment, in this moment. And oh, wow,
Yeah.
I'm doing this all day, every day now.
Yeah. You dim your voice, you dim your light, you then take it away completely.
Yeah.
And so I now allow space for those days. And on those really bad days before I go to bed, I sit there and I'm like, okay, but I did it.
You did it.
I'm here. Did I eat? I at least ate once. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah, it's a win.
Did I drink water? God, yeah, that's a win.
Maybe a little more than I should. I mean, for 2 hours, that's all I drank.
I haven't had any,
I know
so there you go.
Yeah, no, you didn't at all.
I thought about it coming in. I was like,
crap,
can I
what do
bring
you
my
want?
huge tumbler? I'm like, it's a library. I don't remember the rules.
I don't remember the rule.
I don't remember.
It was like a
You
movie
did?
theater. Yeah,
Oh,
snuck
stop.
it in. I didn't know, but I was like, okay.
That's hilarious.
It's sealed,
like a
so I was
movie
like, okay.
theater.
It's like, I'm gonna
It's
find
vodka.
popcorn in here. But I totally think that's a beautiful way to look, and that's actually the perfect way to kind of say exactly what I was hoping to hear is because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. And because, I mean, looking back at it a year ago, I didn't think I was going to be here.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely didn't think I was.
Yeah. Yeah. And thanks to my buddy Deb, but I didn't think I was going to be here. And I'm here.
I'm so grateful you are.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
I love you.
Yeah. You totally have opened up this conversation to a higher level, and I thank you.
Yeah,
I thank you because
you.
I think this was exactly how I wanted to start this. And
Oh,
honestly,
yay.
and my friend Rich and I, we did do one. So we did one, but it's almost like it was 3 hours, but I want to cut it down to, because he's going to be someone who frequents on it.
Okay.
So it's not like I want to do an episode with him. So I was always kind of wondering what I was going to do with that episode of his. And so this will be the first episode. And I think this is the perfect way to start. So I thank you.
Yay.
I thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Any last thoughts? Anything you want to tell anybody?
Yeah. Always remember to give yourself grace. I think a lot of the times we get caught up in our inner monologue, and something that I have struggled with my whole life is hearing all these things. And something my therapist told me, which I love and I would love to share with you, is your inner monologue is made up of all the different voices of people that once told you something and you believed it. And because you believe it, it's now a part of your inner monologue. You have the power to change that inner monologue. What do you, like Coral, as Coral, what do you believe about yourself?
Yeah.
Tell yourself that. Because what anybody says about you prior to that shouldn't matter. You are the only person in your life who lives and dies with you. You're the only person who has been through every single day, every second with you. You're your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You're your own lover. You're the best partner you can ever be to yourself as long as you're kind to yourself. And I think a lot of people forget because we're, humans, we're meant to connect. We're meant to be in tribes, of people. We're meant to be surrounded by a support system. We're not meant to do this life alone. And by no means am I saying that. I think a lot of people forget to give themselves grace.
Yeah, I don't do it. So yeah.
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 Like, we all have bad days. We all get it. Like, for us, we have struggle keeping attention. We struggle with potentially interrupting somebody. Sometimes we get really angry, and for what? But it's in those moments that you have to allow space and say, okay, I'm feeling this big feeling. What do we feel?
Yeah.
I'm upset. Why am I upset? And let that be okay. I think the biggest thing is there's a lot of hate in this world. Don't give it to yourself.
Yeah. Why give it to yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And something that helped me reframe that thinking, that mindset for me, was if your best friend, the person, whoever it is that you love most in the world, came to you and had the same issue you're having, what would you say to them?
Yeah.
How would you talk to them? Are you going to be mad? Are you going to talk down to them? Are you going to tell them that they're worthless and that they suck and you should have done better? You could have done better. Why didn't you? You're not going to say that. Why would you say that to yourself? So speak to yourself in the way that you would your best friend, the person you love most, because the person you love most should be you, period.
There's a song, is it Television? There's a band called Idols. They're from the UK, an amazing punk band, rock band. And the opening line in one of their songs is if someone talked to you the way you do to you, I'd kick their teeth through. Love yourself.
I love that.
And it's so true.
That gave me chills.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah. And
That's so powerful.
I think, it's Television. The song Television, it's perfect because it is. And when I heard that, I went, oh, you're right. And Casey says it all the time.
Yeah.
She's like, why do you talk to yourself like that? Why do you say that about yourself?
Yep.
She's like, I would kill somebody if they talk to you like that. And I'm like, okay. But it's true.
Yeah. Sometimes I catch friends of mine, they'll say, God, I'm so stupid, or fuck, I'm the worst. And I look at them, I'm like, hey.
Every day.
Don't talk
all
to
day.
my friend like
That's
that,
it.
okay? That's not okay. You are doing great, and you're doing the best that you can, and that is okay.
I got to remember. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I try to remember it every day.
Don't talk to my friend like that.
Yeah, I'm going to say that.
I freaking love that person. They're incredible to me.
That's
And
awesome.
I think that's the other thing, too. So many of us, I see the potential of so many beautiful human beings that are in my life. I see the impact that they bring, but it is hard for you to then turn that and see that in yourself. The challenge of life is to be able to find that different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rise above it. Or flip yourself upside down. See what else you can see. There's a lot of places that I go to now, and I look up. Because I realize I never look at the ceiling.
No, I never
do you know how many
too.
beautiful ceilings there are?
I never
It's
thought
stupid.
of it. Yeah.
But I like to look at life in that way. I think it's a perfect analogy for that, is when you are feeling that way, what do you think other people, when they look at you, what do you think they think of you? Hear what people say that is positive. So many people say the most kind, beautiful things to me, on a daily basis. And I'm like, bro, I'm not worthy of this. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's not nice to say. If they are giving that is a gift. If they are sharing, hey, you're existing, I'm grateful. That's a gift. If they say, oh my God, you are absolutely beautiful, I admire you, that's a gift. Don't take away somebody else's gift. Don't ruin that by then returning that saying, no, I'm not.
Yeah, you're right.
You look amazing today. Nah, I feel fat. What? Why are you taking that away? And that's so hard as a human being. Don't think that I think it's easy. It's
No, I
not.
get it. It's not.
It's
I
easier
get it.
said than done. I mean, there are times that people say stuff about me and I'm like, are you kidding? I could go on a list. But then I sit there and I go, oh my God. If they thought that, who else does?
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I
who else
touch
does
their
that?
life, who else's lives can I do that?
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to get stuck in the small going back to what I said earlier, the negative thought process, that lower energy. I think it's really easy to get to, especially in the world we live in right now.
Amen.
Everything is so negative.
So negative.
Right. And
So
it's
negative.
really easy to go into that because it doesn't take any effort to be miserable.
It's always
It takes so much
5
effort
steps. Yeah. 5
to be
steps higher
happy.
to go happier. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true.
because it's a higher frequency of energy.
Yep.
Wild, right?
It is. Mm-hmm. But it's good energy.
Good energy
And
it matters,
that'll
man.
be my currency. Let's go.
There you go. It should
Yeah,
be.
as it should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, one of my tables said the other day, and it cracked me up. Honey, that doesn't sound like an ish me. It's an issue. Uh-huh. Oh, shout out to that guy. He was from New York. They had a bar. I wish I remembered it. But yeah, they were the sweetest little angels. I wanted to put them in my pocket. We were just having amazing conversation. And I remember because there was a guest that was having problems behind me. They were being very rude. And they, as restaurant owners, bar owners, they were hearing that going, oh my God, you're handling yourself so well. And I was like, whatever, I'm a duck. It's going to go on my back and it's going to roll right off just like water on a duck's back. That's what my mama told me. I'm a cute little baby ducky. Yeah, but yeah.
That's good.
It's good. Honey, that sounds like an issue, not an ish me.
I love that.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
don't
great.
don't give me that energy. That's not my problem. That's a you problem. Handle it. I wish you better. I hope your day gets better. I give you love. I'm supporting you, but do not just something else that I heard that I loved so freaking much was just because I don't want you to sit down at the table and eat with me doesn't mean I don't want you to eat. Eat. Be well. Be happy. Do it at a different table, man. You have lost your privileges to be in my energy. But I wish you well. I still want you to eat. It's beautiful. I think that's how we need to reframe our mindset.
I swear, man, I'm going to take so many of these lines that you've had, and I'm just going to start making freaking fortune cookies. And everybody
Let's just put them all around Orlando,
and that's it. Just put them around.
Yeah, let's make
because they're
stickers.
so good. I mean, they're so good.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what I want to do. Stickers.
Yeah, I agree. I want to.
I want to make so many different ones with what we're doing here and everything like that.
Yeah.
2 hours? 2 hours. We did it. We did it. Right on the dot. Right on the dot.
Yeah, brother.
You are amazing. Thank you.
you.
How'd that feel?
Incredible. I feel like I realized what I really enjoy doing in life.
It was easy, right?
It's so easy.
Wasn't that easy?
It's easy because I feel like
you said that's the energy, right? We
yeah,
put
it
that
is.
out there.
Oh yeah, but it's like a high.
Mm-hmm.
You get this nice. I don't know. I feel really great. I really appreciate you for asking me to do this because I mean, every day somebody says, "Do you have a podcast or a blog I can listen to or read?" I've been thinking about doing this, no joke, for 3 years.
Well, let's do this. This episode's going to go well, as first episodes always do.
Oh,
but it's going to go well. We're going to bring you back.
Oh.
And it doesn't have to be about storytelling.
Don't you tempt me with a good time, honey.
It's let's because you definitely threw out a lot of great lines, great tattoos, right? So honestly, yeah, let's do this again. Let's do this again.
That.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man.
Well, awesome. So
You're
then,
an angel.
So then this is not goodbye. This is see you soon.
Hey, see you real soon.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. And I'm going to do an intro out. And all right, give me a second.